Do you want to buy Ikea kitchen cabinets, but they're all out of stock? Hi, I'm Shannon, and I'm gonna show you how you can get around that. So, right now I'm building my kitchen in our Airbnb. Ikea kitchen cabinets have been out of stock for a while, and I've talked to a whole bunch of different employees, and they said it can take around 6 to 8 months to get your kitchen cabinets. And I'm not waiting for that. So, I figured a way out how to get around that. So, how Ikea Sektion, I think that's how you say it, Sektion kitchen cabinets, they have a 15-inch base cabinet, they have an 18-inch, they have a 24-inch, a 30-inch, and a 36-inch. And they were out of stock of all of the base cabinets except for the 24-inch, which is like the least common size that you need anyway. So, instead of waiting 6 to 8 months for our kitchen cabinets, or even getting something else, because Ikea kitchen cabinets are a great value for what you're paying for, and they have a lot of beautiful styles too. So I figured out that I can buy the 24-inch and then customize them myself to the sizes I need, because Ikea had in stock the different drawers and shelves and cabinet fronts and drawer fronts that I could use for these. So I figured I just alter the bases and get what I want. And when I ordered this online, it came in 4 days instead of 6 months or 8 months. So these are what the bases look like. This is an 18-inch one. To get these sizes, I can order the 24-inch and then cut this piece to size, cut these bars to size, and cut that back panel to size, and then it will be the exact same product. And these measurements have to be exact, or else when you order drawers and put the drawers in, they won't fit perfectly. So this is very exact, and when they say 18-inch cabinet, they mean from here to here. So the exterior length is 18 inches. So this little piece I cut just under 18 inches, so it didn't protrude. This piece is an 1.5 inches shorter than 18 inches. That one is 5/8 shorter than 18 inches. And those measurements are the same for all of them. That's a 15-inch cabinet. So the bottom part is an 1.5 inches shorter than 15 inches, and the back piece is 5/8 inches shorter than 15 inches.
And here's all the dimensions of every single cabinet and the panels, what size they're supposed to be, if you want to pause and screenshot this. So now we know how long each piece needs to be, we can start customizing these pieces. These are the thin back panels I'm using here, and this one right here is the 15-inch panel. So I measured 13.5 inches out and then put a piece of painter's tape there on my cut line. And I'm putting the painter's tape here to reduce the amount of tear out when I put it through the table saw. So I set my table fence to that same distance and then just ran this panel through my table saw. And then I did the exact same thing with the 18-inch cabinet. And I forgot to record it, but I also cut out the square on top of the back panels. When we cut off one side of this panel, we cut off that cutout as well. So we need to add that back. And I did this by using the scrap piece that we did cut off. I put it on top of this piece and traced it, and then I used a jigsaw to cut it out. And then I moved on to the bottom panels, and this same thing, put painter's tape where I was supposed to cut it, and then ran it through my table saw to cut it to size. So got those bottom panels cut, and now I can start cutting the metal beams that go across the top. So just marked the length where I was supposed to cut them, and then I actually used a jigsaw with a metal blade to cut these where I needed them. I got all the metal beams cut, and then I started drilling holes in the end of the metal beams so I can put a screw through the metal beam into the cabinet. So we cut all of our pieces to the right length. But for this bottom piece, when we cut off the side, we cut off the holes that we used to assemble the entire cabinet. So we need to re-add those holes. And how I did that was I grabbed the scrap piece that I cut off and then put it on top of the new shorter piece and clamped it in place. And while doing this, make sure that it's perfectly flush on all sides and it's facing the right way, or else the holes won't line up later and you won't be able to assemble your cabinet properly. So I found drill bits that match the hole sizes on the piece, and then I just drilled through the scrap piece into the new piece, and I drilled just enough to start drilling on the new piece so that I could later remove the scrap piece and drill into the new piece without the scrap piece in the way, and so I could know how deep I was going and not accidentally drill through the entire board. And then here's me doing this whole thing again with the other panel. And while I had my pieces still clamped together, I used my combination square to draw a line straight through the middle of the hole onto the new piece, so later I can drill a hole in the same spot on the new piece. Then unclamped the scrap piece and measured the correct depth of holes on the other side and put a piece of painter's tape at that depth so I know how far in I should stop drilling. And I drilled all those holes to the correct depth, and while doing this, make sure that you keep the drill straight up and down just so you know you have a straight hole. So I got all those top holes drilled, and then I found a drill bit that matched the size hole on the side of the panels. And then I set my combination square to half the thickness of the panel so I can draw a pencil mark exactly in the middle of the panel so I know where to drill. And then I just drilled those holes to the exact same depth. So now all of my pieces are ready and I can start assembling everything. And for assembly, I just followed the Ikea assembly directions, so not really much for me to say. But here's where you'll find out if the holes you drilled are in the perfect location, because if it isn't, like this one is struggling to go in a little bit, but thank God it still worked and I was still able to assemble it. So that's how you make an Ikea cabinet smaller. So now I'm going to go over how you can make it bigger.
So I already customized these two. This is the 15-inch and the 18-inch, and this is another 24-inch base cabinet. Making an Ikea kitchen cabinet shorter is a lot easier than making it bigger, because that, I can shorten them. But I need to get my sink base now, and we're going with the 30-inch sink base. So this is the 24-inch, so I need to somehow make it longer, and that's not possible. So this back piece, I bought this from Home Depot. I know it's not the same, and it's a bit thicker. I couldn't find anything this thin, but I will adjust to accommodate for the thicker piece. This piece is this piece right here, and I can't make this longer. So what I did instead is I ordered a 30-inch shelf off of Ikea.
And I added all the same holes that I added to the other pieces. I used the scrap pieces that I had from the shorter pieces, and I did the exact same thing I did to the smaller pieces. I just did it to both sides this time. So the difference between using the shelf and the original panel is, one, it's a little bit shorter. So when putting the scrap piece on top of this piece, make sure that the front of both pieces are aligned, so the scrap piece should overhang a little bit. And two, it doesn't have the little groove for that back panel to sit in, but you can fix that by just, instead of it sitting in the groove, you can just nail the back panel into this piece. But I actually decided to just leave that back panel out completely because it's my sink anyway. So there's lots of plumbing that needs to have access through the back anyway. So I just left this piece out.
I added holes where all they needed to be. I obviously, just like the other things, I can't make these longer. These are 24 inches long and I can't make them 30 inches. So for these pieces, you can actually order spare parts. You can call them or go in. I think like 2 weeks ago, I ordered 30-inch of these, but she said it might take 6 weeks to arrive, so I'm not waiting on that. So instead, I ordered these from Ikea, from the Ikea website, and these I think are meant, they're the same thing. They go across like that, except I think these ones are meant for dishwasher, so it kind of goes like that, so it allows it to vent out. And it's sturdier anyway, so these will work perfectly. And if you don't want to do these, you can go to Home Depot and buy this or something like this and just cut it to size and use this as your support. I'm gonna build this now. This is pretty straightforward, so I'm just gonna time-lapse this so I can watch Netflix while building this.
And once again, just follow the Ikea assembly instructions.
Because I'm not putting a panel back here, and because this is shorter than what it normally is, I can't put these on, and these are actually really important because these hang off of this rail, and these act as bumpers against the wall to hold it up straight. So without these, the cabinet will kind of tip forward a little bit. So instead, I'm just gonna install them right here on the edge. Normally they go here, but normally this is longer, so technically this would be at the wrong depth. So I'm just gonna add them right here, so that bumper is still there. This one was a little off, so these ones kind of got messed up. So that's why I really need to make sure that they're perfectly lined up. So that's how I customized these cabinets, and you can see they look like they were meant to be like this. So super happy with how they came out, and you can see I'm finishing building the rest of the kitchen. I'm doing concrete countertops right now. But thank you guys for watching, and comment down below if you have any questions or any other good ideas. And follow along to see how we renovate this entire house. We're renovating this to turn into a beautiful Airbnb, so We have lots of projects coming and super excited to show you guys. So thank you guys for watching and see you next time.